Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. My Doctor Who seasonal reviews continue with the 11th Doctor story, The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, originally broadcast on BBC One on Christmas Day 2011. Just in case you don't know the plot, the 11th Doctor wants to perform a Christmas miracle of his own by becoming the caretaker to the Arwell family during their seasonal vacation. Madge Arwell, the family's mother, doesn't want her two children to find out about the loss of their father until after Christmas. As a treat, the Doctor has devised a portal to another planet, but one of the children goes missing on this planet, captured by a woodland like monster on this alien world. Matt Smith is on top form in this episode. I haven't watched an 11th Doctor story for quite some time. Probably the last one was Vampires of Venice from my previous review earlier this year. And I know Stephen Moffat wrote it, but the way Matt delivers these lines is just pure perfection. For example, when the daughter asks the Doctor, "Why are you rewiring a wardrobe?" and Matt just replies, "Have you seen the way I dressed?" And also, when the Doctor introduces himself to the family and he says, usually known as the Doctor or the caretaker or get off this planet, although strictly speaking, that one's not a name. I I defy anyone that says that even if the episode is below par in the 11th Doctor era, Matt Smith is the highlight of that episode throughout. He's just a joy to watch. Also, a very strong performance from Claire Skinner, who plays Madge Arwell in this special. Madge is not my favourite character of all time. I just didn't quite get that connection with the character, but nothing to take away from Claire at all, because she is just this great motherly figure for her two children, and it just builds and builds throughout the episode, and just being this protective mother, and with her sort of just driving this big machine on this alien planet from out of nowhere is it's a good kick in the feels. And she just builds up and builds up. Again, I'll go into this in a bit more detail. This is not a story that I watch that often, really. And I'll get into it a little bit more in the review, but safe to say that Claire Skinner does a great performance. It's very nice to see Alexandra Armstrong in this episode as well. If you don't know who he is the voice of Mr. Smith in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but he was also the quiz show host in the UK game show Pointless. But he was also part of a double act sketch series with Ben Miller called the Armstrong and Miller Show. And in those sketches, they were two World War II pilots speaking in modern day. Now, I wouldn't have probably gone that far in this episode, but I would have really loved it if Ben Miller was the co-pilot in this episode. And the cameos keep on appearing with two comedy legends, especially with Bill Bailey and Arabella Weir. And it's safe to say that Arabella took the fair lion's share of the lines. Bill Bailey didn't really have that much to do, but to be fair, I do felt that these two characters, even though again they're not really the main focus of the story, I felt they were just a little bit underused. Would have liked to have seen more, especially Bill Bailey. And that brings me to another point. Now, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a minor criticism, but what irks me is when they announced that they are from a mining corporation on Androzani Major, it would have been really good if the 11th Doctor was in earshot and heard that and just had that shuddering effect of them being from that planet, because it probably would have been, I think it probably would have been used as a throwaway Easter egg when they mentioned Androzani Major. But I would love that sort of reference for the Doctor, because the last time he was there, it was from the classic Fifth Doctor story, The Caves of Androzani. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It is an amazing story. And yeah, there was so much, without going into too much spoilers, so much that the Doctor had to deal with in that story. And yeah, like I said, it probably was used as more of a throwaway Easter egg for this episode, but I would have really liked it that the Doctor would have had some kind of impact knowing that they were from Androzani Major. As I've said earlier in this review, this is not an episode that I've watched that often, and with it being Christmas, I really wanted to give this story another go. And personally, for me, it's not my favourite, and that is nothing against this episode at all. It just comes down to personal tastes. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of positives in this episode. I really like the woodland aliens. I like that they're sort of going for that don't judge a book by its cover type of element to the story. And that's a bit refreshing after all the monsters and villains that we kind of get in Christmas specials. We have to have a bad guy. Not so much though in this case. And I can see what it was going for. It is going for the big Christmas warmth, gooey feels. And that's not really for me. I'm not like the holiday. I sort of, I like Love Actually, but I'm not there going all warm and fuzzy and crying or anything like that. It's just not for me. If anything, I got more the kick in the feels with the Doctor returning back to Amy and Rory, and the Doctor finding out that there was always a space for the Doctor at Christmas, even though he's been gone away for for a good couple of years, I think, after they last met. And I love the moments when the Doctor and Amy are reunited, and they're sort of having that standoff of I'm not going to hug, nor am I. And I really like that. I love that companionship that we see at the end of this episode. But looking for nice, warm, happy endings, this is the episode for you. It just has all the nice feels, all the niceties that you expect around Christmas time. And it is a bit of a refreshing Doctor Who Christmas special, to be fair, after all the running away from monsters and obviously the last two Christmas reviews that I've done, like the Christmas Invasion and Runaway Bride. So it has that fun warmth adventure to a Christmas special. And again, the more kick in the feels I got was the Doctor reunited with Amy and Rory. But all the nicety endings, I can definitely see why this is such a popular episode. So for me, and again, this is not against the story at all, but I am going to have to give the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe a TARDIS rating of 6 out of 10. It's just not my personal favourite, and I do apologise if this is yours. It's more me rather than the story. This is a solid story. So, like I said earlier, if you do like warm Christmas, happy endings, this is the episode for you. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. Is this your favourite Doctor Who Christmas special? If so, I'm really sorry. Or do you agree with me? Is this episode just a bit too warm and gooey for your taste? Would you like to go for a more traditional monster adventure with the Doctor? And what is your favourite Doctor Who Christmas special? Again, let me know in those comments below. Next time on Timey Wimey Review, in celebration of the release of Season 17 of Classic Doctor Who on Blu-ray, I'm going to be reviewing what is arguably the best story of that season, City of Death. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And as a good doctor once said, that hammock has developed a fault.